specially formulated. I mean, clearly the product is being sold as specially formulated for collage. I'd like to see how it works. What I'm going to do is mostly use my Yoo-hoo stick, and then I'm going to reinforce at edges and corners where I feel like it needs more so it doesn't pull up. I will use my glitter glue. Okay, so that's what my plan is. So for starters, I'm going to take a look at some of these kind of crumbs and scraps that I brought. Again, I don't know if you can see the color very well, but this is very pale greens, a real earthy yellowy green tone, and then it's got yellow and orange in the flowers. Her cheeks are flushed with a corally color, and so is her lipstick. So I want to draw on colors. It doesn't mean I can't bring in other colors, but it means I want to try to create something that works with her. And I think I'm already going to cut this down a little bit because I know this whole thing won't fit on the page. And if I'm going to manipulate it around with some of the other collage pieces, I need to at least make sure I can move her around and play. It doesn't mean I won't have anything that overlaps, but it just means that she's my focal point. Okay, so I'm looking for other pieces that might go well. I do have some, let's see, I do have, so this is a scrap of kind of some earthy and golden paper. I think that might go well. I have a piece of, this is really hard to see without good light, but this is a piece of either brown paper bag or craft paper, and it has some gold or copper on it. Try to get it in the light so you can see. I think you can see a little bit there. So it looks a little bit gilded. I might use that. And I do have my watercolors with me. Just because you're collaging doesn't mean you can't paint or use other mark making things with it. It just means that you want to try to, what's the word? You just want to bring things together, that elements together that you like and that you think will look good with your focal point. Now here's the other thing. Just because you're collaging doesn't mean you have to have a focal point, and you definitely don't have to have it before you start. You can just collage things that you like and that make you feel good and that look good to your eye, and then afterwards you can add a focal point with an image that you have, like I was doing here. You can add a focal point with your mark making tools. I will do it, I'll do it on the back of here. One of the things that I love to do is to take these Stabilo all aquarelle black pencils, and I like to create, if you've ever seen some of my things, I like to kind of create messy hearts like this, and then you can take water and a brush and you can make this run and make it wet painty looking. That's something you can do. So you have all different options for how you embellish the page or the tag or item that you're working on. As I mentioned, I'm limited, so I have to go with what I have, and that's what I'm gonna do. So, I noticed in here, I had a piece of scrap with coral on it, and I know that her lips are coral, so that might look nice. And one of the things I love to do, and I encourage you to do this if you love your sewing machine, is I love to stitch on it too. I will not be able to do that. I might embellish it when I get home if I'm able, but I'm traveling and don't have a sewing machine with me, so that's not going to be possible. All right, I think so far I really like this piece, and I'm just going to start gluing some stuff down, okay? because the only way to get started is to get started. So I'm going to start with getting, and one of the things I've seen a lot of people do with collage, which is probably a really great idea, is when you're gluing, glue all in kind of the middle and leave the edges and the corners for later, so that if you want to tuck things and layer things in, you can get under here, because you can always glue it down more securely later. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And I'm leaving my edges so that I can actually, might want to do it like this. I really like, I think I've said this in a previous video, I really like when I have a straight edge piece that I'm gluing onto a straight edge, to glue them together. It really helps keep things clean. You certainly can trim after, but it's nice when you have an edge anyway to match edge to edge to keep your design clean. And I love torn edges, and when you're collaging, torn edges are nice because you know, you don't want, oh, I shouldn't say you don't want to, some people might want to. I prefer not to have what look like perfectly geometrical shapes. I like them to be rough, and probably goes with my whole love of scrappy stuff. So I'm creating some overlap, and again, I'm not gluing my edges down because if I want to tuck something in there, I can. If I decide I want to overlap this, I'll just glue this down and glue something else on top. The other thing I'm learning to try to do is resist the urge to glue everything up and down and straight. You can certainly do diagonals. You can angle things any way you want when you are collaging and creating. And I am really sorry that you're not able to see, you know, I don't have an overhead camera angle, so I'm not able to show, you know, you're not able to see blow by blow what I'm doing, but I am going to, I'm gonna hold it up for you in just a minute. Here's where I am so far. Doesn't look like very much. I've got 3 pieces down. I'm still looking to, I feel like these colors that I have going on so far go really well with this. I haven't decided how I'll put her image on yet, but you know, here we go. And I think, here we go again. Another benefit of the Yoo-hoo stick is I didn't like that piece there. I wanted to move it, so I decided to pick it up, move it to a different spot. And this video is running long. I really wanted to show you that you can create this in 10 to 15 minutes. So even though this video has gone longer already, remember that I did a lot of front loading at the beginning of the video, so it's going to run longer than the 10 or 15 minutes that's going to take me to do the collage, but I want you to remember that the collage part of this is much shorter than the entire video. One of the things Arlene and I talked about when we decided to set this up is we wanted it to be approachable and manageable. If you're not a collage regular, or you don't have a strong comfort level with collage, we want you to feel comfortable jumping in and knowing that it doesn't have to be a whole day's event, that you can pull some things aside, decide on a quick small canvas such as a tag, and get it going. Okay, so you can see tag is a very small canvas, and I've already got a lot of stuff on here, not a whole lot of white left. And by the way, you're certain there are no rules. You certainly can leave white on your tag if you'd like to. I'm already wishing that I had a little bit of white gesso or white acrylic paint with me. I didn't bring a bottle because I like to smudge on some paint. I do have a white Posca, and I might be able to do that, but we'll see how it goes. These are my bright colored papers. So I don't think they're gonna work so much with this particular tag. I'll probably do another one even when I'm done filming here and start playing with some more. And if I have more than one, I'll certainly post them and show you all. I have some green here. It's a little neon. It kind of takes away from the look of this. I'm not sure if I love it. I'm gonna leave it aside. Ooh, I'm gonna use this. Okay, so, all right, so I have this piece in my collage pile. You can hear it's deli paper or glassine. I'm not 100% sure. It's got a little bit of yellow smudge on it, you can see here, and it's got this plant stamp on it, and I feel like it goes well with what I've got going on in this image, so I'm going to use a piece of that. I might even use more than one piece, we will see. And again, you've heard me using this phrase, don't be precious. Again, don't know where I first heard it, but I know that it's from another artist, and I'm trying really hard. That's my crafty goal for the year, is really to not be too precious, right? To allow torn pieces, or sometimes you look at something you've glued on and you say, oh, I don't want to cover up that part because I like it, and then as you move another piece of fodder over it, you decide, oh, but I really do like it with that extra, and so you glue it, and so be it. What you thought was going to be the part that you do not want to cover, you decide looks better with this additional piece on there. So, I find that it's best to not overthink it, okay? And I really do like the way this is coming together. Don't worry about if your collage goes over the edges like this. You have a couple of options. If you're going to do something to the back anyway, then you can fold this down over the back and then cover it. My tag is already white on the back, so I'm gonna leave it that way. So when I'm finished, I'm gonna go around and trim my edges. So I'm not gonna worry too much about cutting it off right now. My glue stick sticking to me. Okay, I feel like I'm getting pretty close to trying to find a place for my image, and I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna leave her without, actually, I think I like her at the top of the tag like that. It's either that or down here, but I feel like if I do put her down here, I'm covering over that whole bit of collage that I just did, which is kind of a waste. Whereas if I put her up here, all of this collage down here still exists. So right now, that's where I'm leaning. I don't know if I'm gonna keep her entire image or allow her to be partially cut off. I'm still working on that. But right now, I'm gonna work on a little bit of more collage down here and think about putting this up there. So I'm just looking through my stash and trying to find other pieces where the color scheme goes. I said I wanted to use this piece that I love from the junk mail envelope, but it has this kind of turquoise on here, and I don't know. I mean, I guess I can add some more color into this. It doesn't look off-putting, and there is a little bit of green in it. So I really could add some of this without messing up the color scheme too much. And you know what? Why not? Oh, actually, I think I like it here. Yeah, so here, I glued on some different pieces, and right here there's a piece that I don't love So I think I'm going to cover this. Oh, you can't see because that's the bad camera angle. I think I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to try to glue a piece there and see if I like it. Because again, what's the big deal? There is no turquoise in the image, but it doesn't mean I can't bring a little bit of it in. Why not, right? And again, forgive my up close hand here. This camera angle is not the greatest. I'm doing the best I can with my travel arrangement, but clearly I'm going to have to do some work on what I'm going to use if I continue to try to create on the road. I'm going to have to figure out a better setup. I think I'm still under 15 minutes with my collaging, okay? Again, I know my video is longer than that, but oh, this piece might go well. All right. The other thing you'll learn as you tear paper is usually if you tear in a specific direction, you're getting, when you peel in one way, it's going to leave a white edge like this. And I know it's really hard to see in this light, but this is a white edge here. I tore this way. And often, I don't know if there's a telltale way to do this. I find it by trial and error. But if you tear this way, then that white is on the other side. And if you don't want the white space in your collage, you're going to want to make sure you do it the way that gets you what you're looking for. The other nice thing about collage is you can always layer more, okay? So if you've put some pieces down and you're not loving the direction it's going in, or you feel like, I don't know why I did that, I don't really like the way that looks, you can always layer over it some more. You can find an edge, you know, that you can glue over, or you can, if you get it quick enough, like I just did, you can peel it off. But once the glue dries, you can even still put another piece over, or see if you can partially overlap it in a way that you like it better, the way it looks. So I'm really close, but struggling a little bit. This is part of having limited supplies with me, and I'm embracing that. I told you I really am trying to up my game a little by focusing in. So I don't have the number of pieces or the exact items that I think I might rather have if I was home, and that's okay. I'm going with it. I'm gonna make it work. That is my goal here. One of the things that I decided as I started creating these YouTube videos is that I have to be myself. I don't really know how to fake it, if that makes sense. So what you see when you watch me is authentic. This is who I am. It's I don't, you know, I don't know how to fake being somebody else. So what you see is me in my flaws, my mistakes. You're just gonna get the real me. And so that's where we are right now. think I might have found one more piece that I like. And I'm remembering this other collage scrap bag, like a fodder bag. I so wish I remembered to bring with me, but I did not, and that's okay. For that same reason, I'm just going to do the very best I can with what I have. Make it work, right? Make it work. And I think, so this is one of those cases where you see how I didn't glue the edge down. I'm so glad, because the piece that I want to put here now, I want to tuck below here. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to get myself some glue on this piece. And no one says that you have to do this challenge the way I've done it, the way I've decided to control my supplies and only use limited things, especially if you're intimidated by it. Don't limit yourself. Let yourself use whatever you want to use. Again, there's no rules, and I just want you to have fun with it. I want you to embrace collage. It so naturally goes with junk journaling. It's such a great way to use up your scraps. And I just remembered that I did bring my circle punches with me, and there are several orangey coral circles that I have in here. So here, that's not a good angle. So I might use one of these. I'm not sure. Depends on if it takes away from our princess up here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do before I get to the image that I'm going to put on is I am going to trim my edges. I want to start looking at what this tag is actually going to look like. So I'm just cleaning up the edges. I'm glad I brought my Tim Holtz Fussy Cut scissors because it's perfect for this. I think on one of the threads I think it was this group, maybe it wasn't, we had a little discussion about a little exchange in the comments about the Tim Holtz scissors. Some people like them, some people don't. There was a question about the serrated edge on it, and that is there, and I love that. I think it helps with the pivot when you're trying to turn and fussy cut. But listen, I told you, you get the real me. A lot of people love fussy cutting. They talk about how it's relaxing. It's something to just kind of do rotely. I do not like fussy cutting. I love the way fussy cuts look, but I really don't enjoy sitting down and fussy cutting the way a lot of other people do. So I guess because of that, I don't have a super strong opinion about the scissors that I use. These are small enough and sharp enough that they do the trick for me. I have seen other recommendations though, and I've put some on my list just to have. Okay, so now I'm going to start taking a look. This collage is looking a little bit busy to me. I don't usually use that many small pieces. And again, how I'm creating probably has a lot to do with this limited supply I have, which is okay, because one of the other things I like that idea of kind of the gesso and the smudge acrylic that sometimes you can do to dull lines, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I want to think about is my image. So I was thinking that I was going to put her here. Now I'm wondering if I want to put her here. I really like these pieces. I apologize for the light. You can't see very well, but there's like a light sagey green smudged on this piece of book page. This is that deli paper with a yellow smudge and the plant stamp. I like that. And I think I might like the image better down at the bottom. So I'm going to play with it a little bit. I'll hold it up for you when I'm done and you can tell me what you think. All right. So strangely, with all this collaging I did here, I'm now going to cover a lot of it up. I really think that I like it like this. And so I'm going to do a little bit more collaging up here. I actually no longer really like the brightness of this. It doesn't blend enough with the colors in here. So I think I might cover it up with another piece of paper from here that I really liked that I tore away. So now that I'm going to cover this one up, I can take another piece. Yeah, and there it is. And I like it better. This orange rather than this pinkish. So I'm going to do that, work on that now. One of the things that sometimes happens as you're tearing collage fodder is you tear too much and then you're disappointed because you tore away some of what you wanted. That happens sometimes, so you just have to be careful. That has happened to me. I think I even just now tore a tiny bit more away than I wanted to, but it's okay because I think I have this other paper that will work well there as well. When you layer paper over paper, it just creates more texture, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Okay. I'm now adding some other pieces from torn away from pieces that I've already put on. It unifies it, okay? So the angle again with the light in here is just so not good. But here I have that brown craft paper with the gilded copper on it. There's more of it here with also green. I'm bringing another piece in up here. Once I put the image on, it'll bring those corners together a little bit. And I think what I've decided, I'm gonna get ready to glue her on. I think I'm gonna cut along these archways here. I know I'll lose some of the plant life up there, but that's okay. I've gotta find a way to fit her on, cut away a little bit, but not too much of the image. So I'm gonna cut this a little bit. And this is one of those don't be too precious things, right? So, you know, there's stuff on here that I might have liked to have kept in the image, but I don't have the space for it, so I cut it off. And I think I really like the way the image looks like that. Okay, so I'm going to glue her on, and then I'm going to work on the rest of collaging the rest of the space that's left, which isn't much. It isn't much. Hopefully you've stuck with me this long. I know this video, you know, I'm still working on the whole brevity thing. I guess I'm just not great at it. Still learning. You know, every day is a learning experience. Okay, so there she is. There's my focal image. I have a little bit more to do. I have straight lines here that I don't like, so I'm going to work on that. And then I'm going to do some overarching mark making. I do think I might like one of these circles. Let's see. It might be too bright. And I don't want anything that has too much on it. I could, actually, it might work because the circle here kind of goes with the circles here. I'm not sure. Maybe I want it. maybe punch a hole at the top there and leave this here. Actually, I think I like it down here. Okay, so I glued this image on and I was okay with the straight edge down here, but I don't love it. I don't want to start layering too much on because there's already 2 layers of paper somewhere in there, but I just held this up here and thought maybe I liked that. And then I can embellish it with a little piece of fabric, which I think I have in my scrap bag there. So I might do that. Hold it out for a couple more minutes to see if anything else speaks to me. I do love having fabric. I love fabric scraps. And as you know, if you follow me, the scrappier, the better. So let's see what we can find. Okay, I do have a piece of lace in here. What else do I have? Oh, look what I found. I actually have this leaf, kind of this plant. I don't know if it goes. I don't want to cover up the plant stamp here. I really like that, so I'm not going to think as nice as this would be. It's probably, oh, just a minute. I think if I cut off the bottom part and did that, I think I might like it. I wonder if it would be good here. Nope, I think I like it at the bottom. That's what I'm gonna do. Now this, I might have a little bit of a hard time getting this to stick. I am gonna try this little tube of Fabri-Tac that I have with me, which was an amazing gift from Linda at Just Lane. She gave it to me in a bundle. I won a bundle in her group. Not really sure how I'm supposed to. Oh, I've never opened it before. Yeah, it has one of these little pokey things. Okay, let's get the cap on. And the reason these are so great for travel is not just because they're small, but you could actually bring this on a carry-on bag because it's that small. And I'm going to need this kind of glue for this. It has a plastic backing. It's, you know, it's one of those fake plants, and I'm going to give it a try. So let's see what we got here. And hopefully I can get it to stick because I think I really like the way that will look here. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's see. I'm gonna hold my fingers on it for a minute or two, make sure it really sticks. You can see there's a giant mess on the desk. This is not different from home. This is exactly what it looked like if I was collaging at home. There's also papers and things all over the floor right now. So that's adding. All right, now, let's see. Okay, I'm almost there. Okay, I just need to do some work up here. So that's what I'm focusing on now. I also, once I start adding embellishments, I want more embellishments, layering, layering, layering. So I think this plant is too big and I'm gonna have to add a little something on. I've got something waiting over here for that as an option. Let's see if we can finish this. Do I like this? I do, I think that'll work. Either that or another. You know what? Perfect. I'm gonna finish this up with some more of this deli paper with the plant stamp. I really like the way it looks. It doesn't add too much busyness, unnecessary busyness. The only thing is I'm trying to figure out which angle I want to put it on. All right, I think I like it like this. Let's do it. Think too hard and you'll never make a move, right? So give it a try. struggling a little bit to figure out which angle I want to put it on. Trying to bring some of the yellow in at a point where okay, you are watching my very my struggle bus process right now, where I have a piece that I know I love. It's the right piece. I'm just looking for the perfect angle because I'm not sure what it is. And I think what I just found is where I tore it initially, and I'm putting it right back together like a puzzle. And I think I really like it like that. So essentially, I tore off this piece when I put this original piece on down here. I tore this off, and now I'm gluing it back together because I like the way it looks, which is great. I'm going to stick a little more glitter glue on the edges to make sure it stays down. We're in the home stretch here, folks. So now that my video is almost an hour long, shame on me. Normally I would take my hole punch right through there again and reestablish this hole. I don't have it with me, so I'm going to do the next best thing, which is poke through it with my scissors and then my pencil to make sure it's the right shape. Trim it off the edge with my scissors. And we are almost there. We've got a nice collage going on here. A nice collage. All right, let's finish it up. I'm looking for an embellishment here and possibly up here. So we're in the final stages. Remember, collage doesn't only have to be paper. You can see I've used paper. I used this little piece of fake plant. I now just added another little embellishment here, which was a piece of trim. Okay. And I'm going to add one of these circles too, because I like them. I'm going to try to figure out, I want one that's not very busy because I don't want it to take away from everything else going on. I like that I have some that have this orange on it. And I think this is the one. This one I'm going to use glitter glue because it's a thicker paper. I don't really trust the glue stick with a thicker paper. I want to really make sure it sticks. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling up the edge of this trim, sticking it right under here. I'm gluing it on. Okay, and I can tell you the very last thing I want to do is put a little piece of scrappy fabric. I almost feel like it wouldn't be mine without it. I feel like everyone's come to expect that from my makes. So I have a couple of different options. I have a couple of neutrals here, little pieces, and then I also have that really scrappy fabric that I've from a scarf that I've been doing. Oh, and don't even tell me. I didn't bring the orange one, so I guess, oh, maybe there's a little piece on the edge here. Right here. And I you can't see me. I'm sorry. I've been trying to hold this in my lap because I have such limited. Yeah, I feel like this piece, as much as I love it, because I've been obsessed with this scrappy fabric lately. You can't see in this light, but I think it's too pink. I don't think it's orangey enough, so it doesn't look like it goes. But I do have a piece of this neutral scrappy fabric, and I think I'm gonna go with this. What I really want to do is stitch it, but I can't because I don't have my sewing machine. So I think I'm going to glue it, and who knows if it's still, if I feel like I still want to do that by the time I get home, it's an option. So I'm going to let that dry. And then the last thing I need is a string for my tag. So let's see if I have anything in my scraps, because I did not bring string. But what I think I will do, as you hear me scrambling around, I'm going to take this piece of scrappy fabric, I'm going to tear it, and I'm going to make my string with that. I have to cut it a little bit more. Like this one is too wide at the bottom. Let's see if I can make that a little bit better. Doesn't have to be perfect, but oh, look at how crazy scrappy this is. I absolutely love that. I'm going to even let it hang. I can always trim it. Oh yeah. And there you go. That is my collaged tag. I am going to post a picture of it because, again, not great light, but there you go. Just under an hour. Remember, we're going to use the hashtag savage. Oh, now I don't even remember. I'm going to have to go back. It was either Savage Art Collage or Savage Collage Art. So let me double check that for you, and I will put it in my show notes, my video notes, what the hashtag is. But I hope you'll join us. We're going to do one of these every week. Next week will be something else, but let's get started with a collage tag. Thanks for watching.